Hello everybody. Now it is my turn to continue with my part of the speech, which in this case has to do with allophones. We're going to start talking about classification, variations. In the part of the classification, we have aspiration, assimilation, and we also have elation. First of all, we need to say that an allophone or allophones are variation of the phonemes that occur in different positions and phonetic environment. In few words, an allophone is a phonetic variation of the phoneme. Then we have aspiration. In the case of the aspiration, we have the following information. Due to the aspirational nature of this allophone, a powerful pause or burst of breath is required to generate sound. That means that an aspiration is a kind of explosion of the consonants when we make an emphasis at the moment of pronouncing that consonant. Alterations are often made in order to make the words easier for the speaker to articulate or for the listener to hear. And as a result, they are considered to be more efficient. Aspiration, for example, we have the consonant P, T, K, and Z when they are at the beginning of a word. Here we have the following examples. We have the consonant sound pa, ta, and ka. And we have the word put, which in this case we can clearly notice that the explosion occurs here in the consonant sound pa. The same thing is going to occur with time, ta, and also with cope, ka, cope. And as I mentioned before, this is something that we do like to make more emphasis in that consonant and also to sound more clear to the person that is listening to us, and also it's going to make easier for the person that is paying attention to us. In the following case, we have assimilation. In the case of the assimilation, we have the following. An assimilation will be a consonant sound that changes during articulation because of the nearby consonant influence. In few words, when two sounds become more similar to one another because they are spoken consecutively, this process makes it easier to pronounce combination of sounds, which helps build your fluency. And I would like here to mention a few examples. Here, when we have the following words, like in this case, could you, here in this case of could you, the word, or in that case the consonant sound D, when we put it together with the consonant sound Y, it sounds j, j, could you, could you. And also the same thing is going to happen with the word or the sentence would you, would you. So here, as you can see, the sound is j, j, or the consonant sound, so it's going to change. So it's a kind of assimilation. Okay, now we have assimilation, but in this case dentalization. The consonant d and the consonant v have undergone the dental assimilation in the sentence I pay that. Here we need to remember that D, or the consonant D, it is an alveolar sound. And here, this one, the TH sound, it is going to be a dental sound. So that means that here there's going to be an assimilation. That's why we say pay that, pay that, pay that, pay that. So in few words, the letter or the consonant D is like acquiring or assimilating, right, the dental sound of the consonant the. Pay that, pay that. Okay, Another example of will be of assimilation will be labialization. In the phrase life partner, there is assimilation. The sound P in this instance affects the sound F. Okay, what does that mean? For example, that means that the F here, that by the way is a labiodental sound, is going to sound more like a bilabial one. The letter P, as we all know, is a bilabial consonant, and it produces a bilabial consonant sound. So that's why we pronounce life partner, because the sound P in this instance affects the sound of the F. And then we have assimilation, but in this case, devoicing of liquids, and they occur when a voiceless S is followed by a liquid R, resulting in a devoiced sound. Okay, that means that here this S is going to affect this liquid R. Here, in this case of the S is a voiceless one, and that S is going to make the liquid R voiceless as well. And that's why we said Miss Raylon, Miss Raylon, Miss Raylon. Okay, why? Because in that case, the boundary consonant, which is W, also affect the liquid R. And then we have assimilation, but in this case, disapplication. Certain sounds can change their pronunciation in order to improve fluency. L becomes velarized in the word final position in tell it. In few words also, if we pay attention when Americans they are talking, they connect the words. And this is a recommendation some specialists give to non-native English speaker to sound more natural, to connect words. And this is a very example, tell it. But that's not the only example that we can use. We can also, for example, use this one. Tell him, tell him, tell him. Or we can also use Taylor. This is just to give you more examples about this particular case. Now we have elision. And when we talk about elision, we refer to the omission of sounds, syllable, or words in speech. This is done to make a language easier to say and faster. Here we have some examples. Here, very important. If we pay attention to our students, most of the time, they pronounce the R and they said February, when actually the R will be elided. So that means that it's going to be February. And that is something that they should know. Okay, that is something that we as teachers or professor, we must and we have to explain our teacher. Now, it is important also to explain them that that will not be the only case that we do this elision or omitting of the sounds. We can use common examples to explain then this rule. For example, we also have a very famous word, which is internet. Internet, it is also a good way to say it, but American way will be internet. Another common word will be this one. Mountain. Yes, the word mountain can be said, but American style will be mountain. And another example could be this one. Curtain. So, but American style, curtain. And there are more examples in which they will have to apply this rule. Let's continue. And lastly, we have another example we have here next week. As a result of the little T sound, the phonetic transcription becomes next week, next week. So once again, this example is very similar to the other one. But as I mentioned before, this is done to make or help people to sound like more natural at the moment, they are speaking, especially if they are speaking to a Native American person, because in that way they're going to be able to understand them better. With this, I'm not saying that you need or that you must speak like an American, but this is going to be a good way for you to improve your English. And with this, I conclude my participation in the video. Now my classmate is going to continue with the other part. Thank you very much.